Hey, how's it going? Kenny here, and welcome back to Non-League to Giants and the start of Season 12 of the series and our 9th season with Portsmouth. And we start the season away to newly promoted Luton, and also featuring the episode will be the second game of the season at home to Arsenal. So, unfortunately, we left off with a little bit of a downer, to be honest. The end of the season was disastrous, to tell you the truth. And it gets even more depressing, the fact that we were 3 minutes away from Champions League football last season. If we were just held on to a 2-1 win over QPR, we would have finished with Chelsea finished in 5th place, and we would have qualified for the Champions League as well due to the coefficients. So, yeah, it just was not the greatest of endings to the season for us, was it? But we are in the Europa League again. We've got our third crack at the Europa League. I don't know if I'm happy about that or not. Obviously, I would prefer to be in the Champions League, but is this the time? Is this the time where we actually get past the quarter-final of the Europa League and we go on to win the competition? Well, we shall see come into the season, but I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful. The last 2 times have been quite unlucky, it has to be said, but of course, we cannot bank on us getting past the quarter-final stage. We knocked out both times to Celta Vigo and Hoffenheim. Yes, Chelsea finished above us on goal difference. Last 3 minutes of the game, we conceded to QPR, of course, drew the game 2-2. If we'd have won that game, we'd be playing Champions League football right now. But oh well, we have to get over it. The end of last season was a little bit disastrous, it has to be said. But now is a new season. Now hopefully we can start climbing the leagues again. Because although we finished 6th, 3 seasons on the bounce, it will be nice to get a little bit of progression. We're also predicted to finish 7th for this season as well. So I'm hoping to go a couple of places above that. We know that if we finish 5th in the league, the last 2 seasons at least, the teams that finished 5th have qualified for the Champions League. So if we just improve our position by 1, we may finish with a Champions League finish come end of the season. So that is what I'm aiming for. Anyway, new season brings new transfers, and there's been some big deals to talk of. And this could arguably be my best transfer window to date with Portsmouth. So I'm very, very excited with the signings I have made. First of all, let's get to the players that I have sold. I've actually raised £116 million in player sales. Only says 46 million there, but that is because the first sale was agreed before the start of the official transfer window. And the player who has left us is Guevara. Guevara has left us. He has gone to Newcastle for £70 million. And oh my word, it seems so long ago that I signed Guevara for just 725k. And at the time, I wasn't so excited about him, to be honest. I wasn't that excited about him. I only signed him due to the fact that he was only going to cost me 725k. I bought him and Gonzalez at the same time, and Gonzalez was the much more exciting one for myself. But Guevara developed incredibly, especially in his first couple of seasons at the club. Absolutely incredibly. So why did I sell him? Why did I sell Guevara, who's still only 24 years of age? He obviously is great. He's a great player as a ball midfielder, especially defensively and physically. He's amazing. Well, first thing is, he's injured quite a lot. He has injury problems, that is for sure. He sprained his knee ligaments 6 times with us now at the club. It's a recurring theme for Guevara. I didn't want to sell him due to the fact that he was homegrown as well, and he's also homegrown at the club. But when Newcastle came in for the bid for him, I'm not going to say it was easy. It took me a little bit of time to stew over it. It took me about 5 or 10 minutes in real life to actually think about whether I should sell Guevara or not. But weighing up the pros and the cons of him, I decided that it was much more beneficial to us to sell Guevara. We have Moreno, who's also a great ball midfielder. Guevara, I'd say, is slightly better overall. Moreno's development stalled a little bit last season, but he's still only 21 years of age, Moreno, and hopefully he continue to develop this season and next season, and hopefully he'll turn out to be a better player than Guevara. So Moreno was starting centre midfield most of the time over Guevara. Guevara had injury problems, as I said. Also, his form for us wasn't the best, but he was injury plagued through most of his time with us. And as I said, he's homegrown at the club. He's a very good player. He's still young, but £70 million is £70 million, and he has his injury problems as well. So Guevara has left us to Newcastle for £70 million. Guevara was the first player to leave us, and the biggest sale of all, of course, as well. £70 million is a lot of money. Also, Fraser Organ has gone on loan to Hull for the season as well. He's pretty much come out of nowhere, because when he came through the youth system, to be honest, he wasn't on my radar at all. His name wasn't popping out to me at all, but he's developed very, very nicely over the last couple of seasons. Very nicely, to the point where he's now a 2-star player. potentially 4 stars. So he might actually be featured at some point in the series. We shall see. Still has developed quite a lot, of course, Organ, but he's only 18 years of age and he's playing for Hull now in the Championship. That shows how much he has developed. He's now going to play his first football with Hull in the Championship. So good luck to Organ there, playing for Hull for the season. Also, Dos Santos. Remember me signing Dos Santos last season in January? I brought him in just to keep Adelson happy. I've sold him already. He's gone to Atletico Mineiro for $5 million, but to be honest, it was a successful signing because we signed him for $1.5 million and we got a nice £3.5 million profit on him. He was clearly never going to be good enough to play for the club, as you can see here, 22 years of age now. I only brought him in to keep Adelson happy, and it was £1.5 million down the drain, but clearly it wasn't because we got a £3.5 million profit on him, so he's left us as well. Also, Matthew Thurgood has gone loan to Wimbledon for the season, another potential youngster of ours, only 17 years of age, turns 18 in a month's time, 20 determination is very nice. He's gone to play for Wimbledon in League One as well, so hopefully he continue his development there and he'll come back an even better player, hopefully, fingers crossed. The next permanent player to leave us was Santiago Grana. He has gone to Club America in Mexico for £15 million. Well, Grana, when I signed him, he was a potential player, signed him for £5.5 million, but unfortunately, he didn't really live up to his potential too much. He didn't really develop very nicely at the club. He still was like a decent player, and as a backup player, he's obviously decent, but I needed to raise some funds for some players to come in for us, and also wasn't keen on selling Grana because he's another one who was homegrown in the nation, in England, so he helped with the homegrown status of the club. But I did a little mock test with the squad registration for the Europa League. If I sold Grana, would we have to leave some players out of the registration? And no, we did not have to, so that sealed the deal. That sealed Grana's fate, basically. I transfer listed him after that to try and raise some funds. £15 million for him is good. As I said, he's a decent player, but his development has stalled, and now he's turned 22. How much better is he going to get? Let's be honest, not too much. So I was happy to get £15 million for Grana. Also, Alphonse, who played a quite a decent role last season, got a fair amount of goals, fair amount of headed goals from corners last season. He has joined Benfica as well for £25 million. Unfortunately, we're taking the loss on Alphonse. Signed him for £38 million. He was my next best thing in terms of centre-backs 3 years ago. Unfortunately, didn't quite live up to his billing, it has to be said. He was a decent centre-back, but not £38 million worth. And also, when I signed him, he was still only 20 years of age when he joined us. He hasn't developed at all since being with us. So that was really disappointing. And he hasn't got an average rating for a season above 7 yet. I don't think he's that key centre-back we need at the club, to be honest. I think he's a good centre-back, but he's not a Champions League playing centre-back, which of course we need now if we want to crack into the top 4 of the Premier League. So Alphonse has left us for only £25 million. He is a good centre-back, as you can see here, but one thing I don't like about him is his physical attributes. I want better physical attributes for my centre-backs, which I have got, by the way. You'll see him in a second. Very, very exciting times. But Alphonse has left us for £25 million. He was an easy one to sell from the centre-backs. Obviously, Eladrissi is my number 1 centre-back at the club. Only signed him last season. A very good player. Vafali is homegrown at the club as well. Can't really sell too many of them. And Adelson I've just sold. So Alphonse was an easy one to sell in that department. And I've brought in a centre-back who is better than him. So overall, I'm happy with it. Obviously, taking a £13 million loss on him, which is not great. But we recuperated some of the money we paid for Alphonse. He's still only 23, so he might get a bit better. But ultimately, I don't like how weak he is physically, to be honest. Well, he's not weak physically, but he's just not the best physically, and that is what I want going forward. So Alphonse has left us as well for £25 million. The next 3 players to leave us were all loans. Recoba has gone on loan to Montpellier for the season. He was on loan at Slavia Prague last season. He's developed a little bit, not too much. He needs to develop a lot more, has to be said. Hopefully he does with Montpellier, but he probably won't be good enough to play for us. We shall see. He's still only 20 years of age after all, so you never know how much he might develop. But he's going to be 21 at the end of the season, so he has to develop quite a lot this season, to be honest, to be considered for next season. But he's still got time. Hopefully, playing for Montpellier. They were in the Europa League last season, so hopefully he gets some decent football with them. Daryl Bentley has got his first loan for the club as well. He's gone on loan to our feeder club, Accrington, for the season. League One these days, Accrington. He's about to turn 18 as well, so hopefully he gets done development there. Hopefully he plays lots of games as well. And finally, Gary Scott has gone on loan to Solihull Moors for the season. He's 19 years of age now. He's not going to be good enough for the club, unfortunately, but hopefully he gets some game time anyway. Maybe he can increase his value a little bit. We shall see about that. There's still some other players I'd like to loan out, such as Beagley. He's got a bid from Derby for the season. He had a good season last season with Slavia Prague. He developed quite nicely this last season as well. As you can see, he's turned out to be quite a decent little centre-back. You know, a couple more loans out. He might be ready for the first team. We shall see. But yeah, Beagley, one of our little youth players coming through the academy here. He's probably the highest rated one who's come through the academy. Obviously, Kieran Paul was still in the first team, but he's very much a fringe player. Beagley, hopefully, if he develops nicely this season, we'll see where he goes. He did have a loan offer from Brescia in the Serie A. They wanted him to be an important player as well, but unfortunately, he rejected that loan offer, which is quite disappointing, really. I thought it might be good for him to get Serie A football. He was playing in Czech Republic last season. He developed really nicely, playing Europa League football as well, but let's hope he joins Derby on loan and gets a full season in the Championship. Also, Sebastian Fernandez, he had a decent season last season as well. He was on loan at Sheffield United in the Championship, played 45 games for them, but he hasn't developed that well, to be honest. He still needs a couple more loans out. Hopefully, he'll develop this season as well. So, those two hopefully will be leaving us on loan as well. Fernandez has got bids from Espanyol, Freiburg, QPR, Leeds, Atlanta, Fiorentina and Verona. So, he's got plenty of choices to choose from there, Fernandez. Thomas Martin, he's a player in my under-21s as well, but he's a player I'd like to sell to raise some funds, to be honest, because after signing all the players, I'm unfortunately 60k over the wage budget, so I need to get under that. Two players I might sell is Martin. I tried to sell him already, but no one's interested in him due to his injury status at the moment, and also Vicario as well. I might be able to sell Vicario and raise some funds to get us back under the wage budget. So doesn't look like there's going to be more signings unless we sell someone with big money, but I doubt it now, to be honest. But sales have to be made. At least one or two players have to leave to make sure we get back under the wage budget. So now let's get to the players I have signed, and very, very exciting. I've actually spent 162 million this summer. As you can see, 83 million there. But there's another player who I bought for 79 million, who is our new record signing, and that is Arda Güler. I finally got my man Arda Güler. He's been on my shortlist now for about 3 seasons. And he actually had a big choice to make, because Brighton, believe it or not, they got relegated last season. But they're also playing Champions League football this season. So they're in the Championship and they're playing Champions League football. That is because they've done what we should have done, and they won the Europa League last season. So Güler has left the club playing in the Champions League to come join us playing in the Europa League, but he gets to play in the Premier League on a regular basis, unlike the Championship. So £79 million for Güler. I'm very excited about this. Although we are in our 12th season, obviously Güler is a very young player in real life. So he's still only 28 years of age. So he's still in his prime. Just look at him. Just look at him. He's absolutely ridiculous, isn't he? Absolutely. Technically, he is so gifted. I don't think there'll be too many players on the game who are more technically gifted than him, to be honest. He's so technically gifted, it's crazy. And I actually signed him as my new right winger, believe it or not. Obviously, probably better to play him attacking midfield or striker, but saying that, he is so good. I'm pretty sure he'll take to the right wing very, very well. We were desperate for a right winger, and boy, have we signed a good one in Güler here. Got Güler on the right now, Costa through the middle, Edson on the left, and Koric up front. That is a very, very scary front four. Very scary front four. Just look at some of his attributes here. 20 composure, 18 vision, 19 technique, 17 first touch, 17 agility, 16 determination. He is just absolutely unbelievable. It seems like he likes the South Coast, to be honest. Obviously, he joined Brighton. They got him for 14 million. What a signing that was for them. But now, 5 years later, he's joined us for 79 million, where hopefully he'll enjoy his best years for us, and I'm hoping that he is the missing piece of our jigsaw, and he's the man who can fire us in to a top 4 finish this season. Güler, I'm very, very excited to get him in. As I said, he's so technically gifted. £79 million is a lot of money, but look at his value now. 145 to 158 million. And also, in terms of his wages, we did have to break the bank to sign him in terms of wages. I thought he'd want a lot more than this, to be honest. I thought we were going to be looking at about 150, 160k, which might not even be affordable for us, but 98k a week is definitely affordable. He's on a 4-year contract as well. Just very, very excited to get him in. Very excited. After that, I signed 2 squad players, it has to be said. Gavin Bazunu, bit of a Southampton legend these days. He's joined us from Celtic for £9 million. He also played for us at one point as well. He was actually on loan to Portsmouth in the 2022 season in League One, where he played 44 times. So he's returning back to Portsmouth. Obviously, I was not manager back in those days. That is for sure. £9 million. Well, the reason why I signed Bazunu was I was looking for a player to sign who would add to the homegrown status at the club. Obviously, we lost Guevara, or we sold Guevara, we sold Grana as well. As two players off the books there are homegrown by the club. We did have Moreno and Andaquia gain homegrown status at the end of last season, so effectively they replaced them too. But I wanted another one, and to be honest, the best player we could sign that was homegrown in England was Bazunu. No real player has been homegrown in England want to join us right now, unfortunately for us. But Bazunu is a good goalkeeper. He comes in as our backup goalkeeper to Lopez, but the good news is he's better than Vicario. He's 31 years of age as well. He's 5 years younger than Vicario. Vicario probably is going to retire end of the season, or we'll sell him. So, yeah, we needed a backup goalkeeper. Bazunu, only £9 million. He's going to put pressure on Lopez as well, because he may be backup goalkeeper, but he still is pretty good. He's cheap, and he also adds to the homegrown status of the club, so that is fantastic. Played for Southampton for many years. Then he went to Celtic for £6 million. Only 10 goals conceded last season for Celtic in 31 games. Well, it is a two-team league, isn't it? So it can't be that hard, but still, that is a nice record. He's now playing for us as a backup goalkeeper, but I'm sure he'll get plenty of game time throughout the season. Also, Manu Kone has joined us as well from Barcelona for 11 million. So you may have noticed that the three signings I've made are all experienced players as well. Wasn't really that I planned to sign three experienced players, but I wanted to sign very good players. I didn't want to just sign potential players, you know, who might come good in 2 or 3 years' time. We need players now who are very good to help us get into that top 4. And Manu Kone, I signed him for 11 million from Barcelona. He's 32 years of age now, but he's still got very good attributes. As you can see here, he's an overall very good player, Manu Kone. I signed him for my Man United series at the start of the FM, at the start of the FM beta, and he was a very good player for me, very well-rounded midfielder. Very happy to get him in. He can play numerous roles in the midfield. He says his best role is a ball midfielder, but due to the fact he loves going forward, I don't see it as that. But in certain situations, when I've got Moreno injured, for example, Kone can fit in there as a backup ball midfielder, but he can also play as a box-to-box midfielder like that as well. So yeah, very happy to get Kone in. He's 32, 11 million, but he's got good natural fitness. His physical attributes are all very, very good, by the way. His minimum is 14, and that's his jumping reach. So I'm hoping we'll get at least 2 or 3 good seasons out of Kone. 11 million is very, very nice. Only problem was his wage demands. 110k a week is the highest at the club now. Don't think he deserves to be highest earner at the club, but I needed a centre midfielder anyway because I thought Grana wasn't good enough. Now we sold Grana, bought in Kone. He's a much better player. I'm very happy with that. And last but definitely not least is a new centre-back, and wow. I was looking for a centre-back at the start of the window. I couldn't find one. I couldn't find anyone that was good enough for us. But then Neo Maka popped up in my scouting update, and boy was I excited. Boy was I excited. I've signed him for 63 million. So I spent 79 million on Gula and 63 million on Maka. I'm hoping these two will be the two that fire us to a top 4 finish and Champions League football next season. He comes in to replace Alphonse, and well, he is outstanding. He is outstanding. The only problem is his defensive attributes are not outstanding, you'd say. They're very good, they're good, but everything else about him as a defender is outstanding, it has to be said. If he had better defending, he probably would be one of the best centre-backs on the game. Probably is already one of the best centre-backs on the game, but look at some of his attributes here. Mentally, he is unbelievable. 18 aggression, he's got anticipation, bravery, concentration, decisions, and determination, all 17. He's got 17 strength as well, 17 jumping reach, he's got very good pace. He's just an outstanding footballer, Obviously, defensively, he could be better, but overall, what a player we have signed right here. If you actually compare him with Alphonse, yes, Alphonse is slightly better defending, but look at his physical attributes here and also his vision as well. He's just an amazing, amazing player. And if you compare him with El Idrissi as well, I think they complement each other very well. Maka is slightly better in most departments, but El Idrissi has got that amazing defensive attributes. So these two as our centre-backs this season, very, very exciting. 63 million for Maka, but now he's worth 125 to 136 million. And get this, he's 26 years of age, and he's already got 87 caps for South Africa. Wow, amazing. Very excited to get him in, as I said. He looks unbelievable. He's also left-footed as well, which is very convenient. He's replacing the left-footed Alphonse. And yeah, I'm just very excited about these two signings, especially Gula and Maka. But I feel like Kone and Bazunu really add to our team as well. So that is the signings I've made. I think this is my best transfer window to date, to be honest. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that Maka and Gula are the two missing pieces for us? Will we qualify for the Champions League this season? Are these two great signings, or am I really over-exaggerating here? Well, let me know in the comment section, guys. What do you think about that? Anyway, let's get to the start of the season then. Let's get to the first game of the season, away to Luton. And in terms of the team sheet for this first game, we've got Lopez in goal, De Jong right back, and Aquia left back, Maka and El Drissi centre backs, and we've got Kone, Moreno, and Acosta in midfield, Gula on the right wing, Edson on the left wing, and Coric up front. So you may have noticed, first of all, there's been a slight tweak to the formation. I wasn't too happy with last season, to be honest. I feel like we've stagnated a bit, obviously finishing 6th. 3 seasons in a row, no progression there at all. So I'm looking for progression this season. And I decided to change my tactic up a little bit. As you can see, I've moved the 2 centre midfielders back to 2 DMs. We've got Moreno there as a ball midfielder on defend, which hasn't changed, apart from it's just DM now instead of centre midfielder. But also I've changed the box-to-box midfielder into a Secondo Volante on attack. It's something which I've experienced success with in the past, the Secondo Volante. And I just felt like it was... I just felt like doing it, basically, to be honest. I can't really explain much more than that. I just felt like something was needed here. Out of possession, I feel like we might be better with 2 DMs in there instead of 2 centre midfielders. Help with the defensive frailties. Of course, Maka's going to help with that as well, being a great centre-back. Also, I've changed the full-back on support to a wing-back on support as well. Hopefully to get De Jong further forward. I've gone with 2 ball-playing defenders on defend now instead of just 1. And that is about it in terms of the player roles. So not too much changes, but a slight tweak nonetheless. And in terms of other changes, out of possession, I've decided to go with a high press instead of mid-block. And I've also put the trigger press much more often in there as well. I feel like defensively we're obviously nowhere near good enough last season. But another problem we had was I worked it out coming into the season, and 17 of the games we played in the Premier League, we conceded first in. That is clearly nowhere near good enough. So I decided that we need to start more on the front foot and not just when things are going bad, go more positive. Because I feel like whenever I go with a high press and trigger press much more often, it always seems to work for us. We'll see how it works at the start of the game, but that is what I wanted to go with, so that is what I've gone with at the start of the season here. I'm not going to say that it's not going to change at some point. Got a little bit of problem with the Secondo Volante though. That is because Iliev cannot play there right now. But he has been training there, and he's already gone from a makeshift to unconvincing already, so hopefully it won't be too long before we can actually play there. But when I do need to play him, I'll just play him in midfield as a box-to-box midfielder when I see fit. But at the start of this season, Kone will start there because he's a natural in that position. In terms of debuts for the first game, well, Maka, Gula and Kone are all making their debut at the start of the season here. In terms of injuries as well, there's no injuries at the club currently. We've got a fully fit squad currently, and also you can see we've got a big squad as well. We've got 25 players in the squad, including 3 goalkeepers, but Vicario may be sold. We shall see about that. So Luton away, the newly promoted Luton, the start of the season. Surely we're going to start off with a win. Will we though? Let's find out. Before we get started with this first game, guys, please remember that if you do like this video, hit that like button for me. If you're still watching at this point, then surely you must like the video. So do me a favour and hit that like button for me. And also, if you're new around here, do hit that subscribe button as well. Only 7 more to go, and I get to 1,000 subscribers. That is absolutely amazing. If you could help me get there, though, it'll be much appreciated. Unfortunately, Gula is starting off the game anxious. We don't like to see that. Hopefully, his anxiety can be eased at the start of the match here. Away to Luton. Couldn't ask for a much better start than this to the season, to be honest. Obviously, it'd be nicer if it was a home to Luton, but should be winning this game, really. Can't remember the last time I faced Luton, but it must have been a long time ago. Anyway, 7 minutes in, we get our first highlight of the game. And already we're getting the ball away, but then they get the ball away. Here's El Drissi. Had a decent first season at the club. Hopefully he's better this season anyway. Look at him as a ball-playing defender there. And Coric is through on goal. Oh my word, El Drissi. I played him as a central defender last season, and already 7 minutes in to the new season, he's shown me what he is capable of, driving forward with the ball. Gulo is a new set-piece taker now as well. And El Drissi, I'm mentioning his name quite a lot here. He doesn't want to be overshadowed by our new centre-back Maka. Another corner again. On the front foot is Gula to take it again. Maka. Ooh, it's all about the centre-backs early on here, isn't it? First 8 minutes, all I've mentioned is the centre-backs. Back on the highlight again. Setford to take the goal kick for Luton. Here's Luton with the ball. Here's Williams. Gula. Oh, word. What sort of tackle was that by Gula? It's amazing. Anyway, Coric is through on goal again. Is he? No, he's not. Should have run into the ball better there, Coric, to be honest. But anyway, still on the attack is Edson. Cut it back. Kone. What on earth was that? What on earth was that? Really seeing what Segundo Volante can do, though. Getting in the box, but unfortunately, Kone with a terrible finish. Look at that. We're absolutely dominating these early stages, though. Looking good for the tactics so far, but let's be honest, Luton are probably the weakest team in the league, so let's not get carried away here. Anyway, here's Maka to Andaquia. Kicks it forward to Edson. He's got to score. He does score. Is he offside? I don't think so. Get in there. Just seemed like it just opened up for Edson massively there. What happened there? That was very bizarre. A bit of luck, maybe? Let's see this back again. Maka passes out to Andaquia. Yeah, this defender here, he's really messed up, hasn't he? The Luton right centre-back really messed up there. But we don't care. We've taken an early lead here. A deserved early lead, it has to be said. 1-0 up already. And this game is full of highlights, isn't it? So much different to the Hoffenheim game we just saw a couple of episodes ago. 84 minutes for a highlight in that game. Not like that in this game. And I'm really liking this start to the new season. Definitely starting on the front foot in this game. Here's De Jong with the ball, getting forward again. Oh my word, what happened there? That's, oh my word, Gula injured already. Well, Coric has scored, which I should be celebrating, but something strange has happened with Gula there. He just looked like he stopped and just kicked Striddy, which was very bizarre. Let's see this back. I don't know quite what happened there. Gula was already carrying a knock. Let's just watch Gula. Here he is, look. Oh, there you go. He went in for a tackle with Striddy and probably should have been a foul to them, to be honest. But anyway, we've scored a goal through Coric and Gula is injured on his debut. 16 minutes in, that is not a very good sign, is it? Let's hope it's not very serious. Nesta Rocha can come on the pitch for him. I tried to sell Rocha in the summer transfer window. Unfortunately, no one was willing to match the price for him. But I guess it was a blessing in disguise because now we've got him as a backup player, which is great. Anyway, this first half has been so dominant by us, it's crazy. I guess we'll see what we're made of properly though in the next game at home to Arsenal. But this is a great start to the season. Don't get me wrong. Very nice. Edson, oh my word, almost 3-0. Great strike from Edson there. Are we really this good or are Luton just absolutely terrible? We shall see come end of the season, I guess. Anyway, still got the ball. Here's Edson with the ball again. Had a poor ending to the season, Edson. Anyway, it's Andaquia. Can he get a goal? It's deflected. Charles with an acrobatic diving header off the line there. That was almost a comical goal, wasn't it? My word. Wow, this is just complete and utter dominance from us, this. Absolute domination. I like it. I really like it. Can we perform like this away from home all season, please? Oh my word, look at that. Look at that from Edson. Oh my word. Goal of the season contender already? What was that from Edson? Unbelievable. Look at that Brazilian control there. Wow. Was that Andaquia with the assist again? Look at this from Edson. Chested down again. Kneed it, then volleyed it into the back of the net. Wow, that was amazing. And wow, what can this scoreline end up? We are absolutely destroying Luton here. They're not happy being back in the Premier League, that is for sure. Wow. That first half was crazy. Only 3-0 though. It could be a lot more, but let's not complain. Very, very happy with that first half of football. Absolutely amazing. And we are looking good. We are looking good. But as I said, let's not get carried away. Luton could well be the weakest team in the league. They have just been promoted, so they probably are. Anyway, Rocha hit the bar there. Decent free kick attempt. Can we add any more goals in the second half here? Setford with another goal kick. He kicks it long. Electricity wins the header. Then Coric wins the next header, shall I say. Anyway, here's Luton. De Jong wins the ball back, but I don't quite know what he's doing there, De Jong. Anyway, here's Williams with the ball for Luton. Maka, what are you doing there, Maka? You should be jumping to head the ball there. Anyway, led to nothing, unfortunately. Luton's only chance of the game so far, it seems. Anyway, we actually play Arsenal in 3 days' time, so I think it's time to give some key players a bit of a rest here. Who can we rest? Well, you know what, Moreno? Let's take him off. Let's bring on Iliev. He can't really play here as of yet, but we're 3-0 up in the game, so I'll give him some more match experience there as a Segundo Volante. Hopefully get him up to speed quicker. Who else can I take off here? You know, I'm going to take off Maka as well. I'm going to take off Maka and I'm going to bring on a Daleson for him. Back on the highlight again. Here's Iliev playing in the role he's not familiar with. I mean, it seems like he looks like he's familiar with it there. Driving forward the ball very nicely. El Idrissi passes it back to Iliev. Now here's Kone. Punts it forward to Acosta. Oh my word, another goal. Another goal. It's like an exhibition match for us. What a goal from Acosta. Wow. Wow. The South American flair we have in our team is crazy. Crazy. Look at this. Lovely ball forward from Kone, by the way. Acosta chests it down and then volleys it with his right foot into the back of the net. I think that is game over now. Absolute domination. What a lovely start to the new season. Well, Kone is tired as well, but he's not exactly a key player for us, although he's had a great debut, it has to be said. Acosta can come off. Andre can come on for him. And also, you know what, Edson's on a hat-trick. He won't be happy about it, but he can come off as well. And we will bring on Bruno for him and put Koric on the left-hand side. Oh, Bruno can play on the left-hand side now. Been training Bruno as a left winger. Last time I checked, he wasn't even competent there, but now apparently he is, so he can stay on the left wing, Bruno. 4-0. Can we add any more goals in this game? Here's Rocha with the ball. Comes back to Andaquia. Had a great start to the season here. Go on, Andaquia. Oh, my word. Almost a great goal again by Andaquia. What a start to the season. We got a corner out of it, though. Bruno to take it. Oh, heads it over the bar. Daleson, I think it was there. 10 minutes to go. Can we get a fifth goal? That would be nice, wouldn't it? Here's Andre with the ball to Iliev. Great for the goal difference as well. +5 or +6 it could be. At the first game of the season. Very nice. Away from home as well. We're terrible away from home. So this is a very good sign. Very good sign. Not going to get carried away though, as I keep saying. This is Luton. It is Luton. But still, it's a Premier League team away from home. So obviously it's quite nice. Anyway, here's Daleson with the ball. He passes it back to Lopez. Daleson, he's going to play as my centre-back this season. Well, not as my main centre-back, but play that way his position he'll be playing most of the time. Got Chino at the club, back up for Andaquia. I want to give him some development as well. Anyway, Kone trying to pass it to Iliev, but Clark gets there just before him, but he gives it away to Bruno. Chance for a fifth goal here. Back to Iliev, back to Bruno. Oh my word, look at it. Look at this. What is happening here? Am I in a dream world? What is going on with these players? Wow. They have started off the season on fire. Look at Bruno's audacity here. He developed really nicely last season, Bruno. Look at that as well. Lovely composure from him. Just smashes it straight at the keeper. And it's 5-0. Wow. Just a couple minutes to go here. And that is it. What a lovely way to start off the new season. What a way to start off the new season. Is this purely the tactics or is this purely Luton at absolute terrible? I think it's a bit of both, to be honest. I think it's something to do with the tactic I've created here. And also, Luton are terrible. But 33 shots. 13 on target with 3.62 XG. 66% possession as well. Wow. What a lovely way to start the season. 5-0 win away to Luton. Surely we're top of the league after that. But we've got a much sterner test to come. We did beat Arsenal for the first time last season though. We beat them 2-1 at home. Can we beat them again? We'll find out in a sec. Well, that was a lovely way to start off the new season. But now the real test comes at home to Arsenal. How good really is this tactic now? Was it just a bit of luck there against Luton? Are they that terrible? I guess we'll find out here against Arsenal. Home to Arsenal though. We beat them last season at home. And we've been beaten plenty of the big teams at home in the past seasons as well. Fratton Park is known for being quite the fortress, to be honest. So I'm hoping for a win here today, to be honest. And considering the teams we've got coming up as well, at home to Arsenal, I'm hoping for a win. We've got Chelsea away after this, then Man City at home, and then Newcastle away. So although we had a great start to the season, the next 4 games are not so easy, to tell you the truth. Also, a bit of news on the transfer front. I just offered out Thomas Martin to clubs, and Sligo Rovers has come in for a bid for him, 2.5 million, potentially 3.5 million as well. So I'm hoping selling Martin will get us under the wage budget. We shall see about that. We're 57.27k over the wage budget. So hopefully with those funds, we might be able to get under the wage budget. If not, I'm going to have to sell Vicario, unfortunately. But another player has left us on loan as well. Fernandez has gone to Fiorentina for the season. So that is great. Playing Serie A football, I should imagine. Yeah, Serie A. And he's an important player there as well. So hopefully it'll be great for his development. Anyway, let's get to this game then. At home to Arsenal. And in terms of the team sheet, well, unfortunately, I've had to make 2 changes. There's in total 3 changes to the team, though. Andy Booth comes in for De Jong, who picked up a slight injury. He's back in 2 days, so not a serious one. But unfortunately, Gula's injury was quite serious. He's torn his groin muscle, and he's out between 3 to 5 weeks. So that is devastating, especially considering the teams we've got coming up. As you can see, we've got Arsenal, Chelsea, Man City, then Newcastle. Gula's going to miss all of those 4 games. So that is not a great start to life here with us. Gula, he already got a 7.7 rating. Did he get an assist already in that game? Didn't he? He just played 16 minutes of football and got a 7.7 rating. So he already shown us what he's capable of. Unfortunately, this injury has come at the start of his tenure here. But hopefully, it's not the start of many injuries. And in the grand scheme of things, 3 to 5 weeks isn't too long time. So I'm not getting myself too disheartened about it. But it's not nice to see him injured already. That is for sure. So Booth comes in at right back for De Jong. Also, Rocha comes in on the right wing for Gula. And Iliev, he's already competent playing his position. It seems like you just put them there for half an hour or so in the game. They can start to play there a little bit. So now Iliev is competent as a DM. So he starts today's game as well to replace Kone, who's slightly tired for the game. He also had a great debut as well. Maka got a 7.3 in his debut. Kone got a 7.6. And Gula, only playing 16 minutes, the best of the lot with a 7.7. So yeah, great debuts all around. But as I said before, this is the real test now. We had a great result against Luton, 5-0 away, very lovely. But now we have the big boys at home to Arsenal. Can we make it 2 out of 2? Well, let's find out. Okay, here we go at home to Arsenal. I don't think we're going to dominate Arsenal as much as we did Luton, but I'm hoping for a win here. We shall see what happens. Arsenal, Mikel Arteta is still the manager. Odegaard's still here. Martinelli, Saka, Bellingham's here. Saliba, Scalvini. So they've got a lot of familiar players playing against Arsenal here, and they should have won the league title last season. It was very much clear coming into the season. And funnily enough, a bit like real life, Man City pipped them to the post coming into the season. So they've got a point to prove, Arsenal. And they've got a very good team. But so have we. So have we. We don't need to fear them, especially at Fratton Park here. Anyway, here's Ronaldo to Perez Vinloff. There's Martinelli. Wouldn't like to concede an early goal here. Costa wins the ball back nicely though. Now here's Rocha, in for Gula today. Out to Edson, who had a brilliant game. Man of the match performance against Luton. To Iliev. Oh, another promising start for us there. Iliev with his weaker left foot almost curled it into the top corner. Early days, but I'm liking the new tactic. I am liking the new tactic. I'm liking the Segundo Volante, I really am. Anyway, 18 minutes into the game and not much is happening, it has to be said. As I said, Arsenal are much more of a test for us than Luton are. This could well be the team who finishes top of the season and the team who finishes bottom at the season as well. Luton finishing bottom, Arsenal finishing top. So it's a big difference between the two. Anyway, we're on the highlight here. Booth won the header nicely there. Now here's Rocha, who's dwelling on the ball for way too long. Don't have a clue what he's doing. But we get the ball back from Iliev. Now here's Moreno. He passes it to Edson. He gives it away very cheaply as well. What are you doing? Stop dwelling on the ball for too long. What are you doing that for? Oh dear. Lopez catches the ball there. Lopez had a bid from Bayer Leverkusen for him as well. He was very interested in going. I told him 70 million you can leave. But to be honest, there's not really any goalkeepers out there to replace him. So don't really want to sell Lopez, to be honest. Anyway, here's Moreno with the ball. To Edson. Now here's Acosta. Come on, it's got to be 1-0 Courage. It's got to be. It is. Get in there. This freak scored 32 league goals last season in 32 games. And that's his first. Is that his first goal of the season? Did he score against Luton? I lost count against Luton. I'm pretty sure he did. I'm pretty sure he did score against Luton. And yeah, he's second favourite top goal scorer this season after Erling Haaland. So he's a very key player for us, Courage. And a great run in there, a great ball forward. And we take the lead in this big clash at the start of the season. If we're going to get to where I want to get to this season, Arsenal will be a direct rival of ours. So this could prove costly coming into the season as well. But not the greatest the first halves, that's to be said. Not too many chances created, but we have taken the lead. We had one big opportunity and we took it. But still, I'd like to see better than this in the second half, to be honest. Let's see if we can create more chances in the second half. But at least we're restricting their chances as well. Got a corner here. Edson to take it. Oh dear. Now they've got a chance to break out from the corner. My word. Garmendia carrying the ball so nicely there. Wow. I don't know how on earth they could possibly think about going to VAR right now. We just saw what he did. He just ran from his own box and scored. Why would you be going to VAR? Makes no sense at all. Obviously it's a goal awarded, but that's a little bit disgraceful, to be honest. The fact that he's run the entire length of the pitch and then just basically chipped Lopez. Does the credit go to Garmendia? A player that I was tempted to sign, by the way, is Garmendia. Or is it? Is that the right player I'm thinking of? No, it's not. It's not the same player I was thinking of. That's a different player. But yeah, that was a little bit disgraceful, to be honest. 1-1 in the game. We're not creating too much opportunities. Nor at Arsenal, to be honest. But so that wasn't good enough, really, was it? You can't allow a player to run the entire length of the pitch and then score. It's disgraceful. Oh, now it's turning a little bit in Arsenal's favour here. Here's Garmendia again. My word. What on earth was that? What on earth was that? Well, 30 minutes to go. Decided to make a couple of changes here. I've taken off Edson. He's got 6.6 today, not the greatest. So I brought on Bruno for him. He can play on the left-hand side now, which is very convenient. And also, Kone can come on for Iliev as well. Half an hour to go. Obviously, it's not a very poor result as it stands, 1-1. But at home to the big teams, I'd like to get as many wins as possible this season, to be honest. Anyway, oh my word, Maka almost with his first goal for the club. Here's Acosta. We're still on the highlight here. Out to Bruno. Should have done better. Really should have done better. I think he was offside anyway, but should have done better there, Bruno. 20 minutes to go. Moreno, he's tired. He's not playing particularly well, and he's got a yellow card. We put Gonzalez as a ball. Yeah, he can't play there, can he? Oh dear. You know he can play there though. Maka can play there. So let's undo that. Let's put Maka there as a ball midfielder, and let's take Moreno off and bring on Verfali for him. And one more change I can make here. I'm also going to bring on Chino for Andaquia. He's quite tired, Andaquia, not playing particularly very well as well. 18 minutes to go. Yeah, not the greatest of performances, has to be said. Obviously, Arsenal are a stern test for us. It's been quite an even game, though, to be fair. 1-1 probably would be fair, to be honest. 3 minutes to go here. Would it be one more highlight in the game? No, there won't be. Well, it's not a disaster, is it? It's not a disaster. Obviously, there's a big difference between the Luton performance and the Arsenal performance. They had 5 more shots than us, but if you look at the XG here, we got a higher XG than them. Possession is very similar as well. So I'd say it's a fairly even game, to be honest. Obviously, both teams had their chances in the game. We took a big chance through Coric, but unfortunately, we didn't create too much more opportunities after that. Arsenal didn't create too many opportunities either, but they are a great team. 1-1. It's better than a loss, isn't it? It's better than a loss. It's better than a loss. Let's hope we can make up for it by beating Chelsea away from home in the next game, and that's going to be very tricky as well. So yeah, it wasn't the perfect start to the new season. Obviously, we beat Luton 5-0 away, played very well as well. That was amazing, but when we come up against sterner opposition such as Arsenal, we didn't really create a lot of chances. So that's a little bit worrying, it has to be said. But we still played quite well in other departments, of course. Obviously, we restricted their chances quite a lot. It took to a piece of brilliance really from Garmendia to get them back into the game. So obviously there's some positives to take out from the game as well, but hopefully against the bigger teams again we can play better at home and get some wins on board. We've got chances to do that in the next few games. Chelsea away, Man City at home and Newcastle away. Hopefully we don't lose all of those games. That would be very nice. Also at home to Aston Villa as well. They beat us in this fixture last season 1-0. So got a very tricky next 4 games really, to be honest. So hopefully we can win one or two of these games. Hopefully we can beat Man City at home with home advantage. Aston Villa at home as well. Newcastle away had a very poor season last season. Chelsea away only got above us on goal difference. So we have got chances these next 4 games, but they're obviously very tricky. So we shall see what happens there. In terms of the next episode, guys, well, obviously the Europa League will be starting. I think it starts on the 15th of September. We enter the league phase. That's quite quick to come back to, though, to be honest. So I think I'll bring you back for the games, either QPR away or Man United at home, and feature one of the Europa League games in there. It would either be match day 3 or match day 4 in the Europa League, depending on which teams we're playing. Obviously, I'd like to feature the bigger team in the episode. But that's the end of the episode, guys. Obviously, the next few games are very tricky. Hopefully, I'll bring you back and we're in a decent position in the league. It started off amazing, beating Luton away 5-0, but then we brought back down to reality a little bit when we faced Arsenal and drew 1-1. But it is an unbeaten start to the new season. If we can draw away to Chelsea in the next game, I'll be very happy with that as well. But anyway, guys, that is the end of the video. Please remember to hit that like button if you like the video. And also, if you're new around here, do hit that subscribe button as well. Only 7 more to go, then I get to 1,000 subscribers. If you can help me out with that, it'll be much appreciated. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you for the next one.